All right. Well, good morning, everyone. And so glad to have all of you here with us today for our home buyer and home seller workshop. Today we have a team here who are all what I would consider to be experts in their respective areas. And I'm going to take a minute here to introduce everybody briefly before we start presenting. So first of all, we have myself. I am Keith Guy for anyone who does not know me, and I am a realtor, a residential realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty, based out of the Los Olas office in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I am pleased to be here with you, and hopefully we will share some knowledge with you today that will help you in your process. And you will see the value of working with a powerful team of specialists who will help you with your real estate transaction, be it buying, selling, or both. Next, I'm going to introduce Oscar. Oscar, I always do a terrible injustice to your last name, so I'm not going to pronounce it. Oscar is the president of Gaia Construction and Inspections. And Oscar, I can tell you, I have personally used him for inspection services, and him and his team do an outstanding job. And he will talk about the inspection part of the process when we get to that in the presentation. Additionally, we have Lazaro Dennis. Lazaro is with Wellspring Insurance, and he is helped people that I know in the insurance side of the world. And when you buy real estate, you're going to need insurance services. And he offers a full suite of services, and I'm sure you will find him quite helpful. Next, I have Bill Anderson. Bill is a vice president on the mortgage lending side with Guaranteed Rate. Bill is years and years of experience in his field and is a very reputable person in that industry, and someone that you can trust to use, and someone who will help you all the way through the process. We have Kevin Thatcher from Independence Title. The title company of your choice is a very important part of the process, and they are your ally. They look out for you. They help you through the process as well. And Kevin will be talking to us today. Kevin is the CEO of Independence Title, and he will be talking to us today on the title side of the business. Next, we have Sasha. Sasha, I'm not going to try to botch your last name either, because I'm no expert at names. But Sasha is on the credit side of the business. So she is in the credit repair, credit specialty side of the house. So if you need assistance with the credit piece of your home shopping adventure, then Sasha and her team are definitely people that you will want to talk to. Okay, so I don't think I missed anyone. Anybody on the team? If I missed anyone, please shout out now. I don't want to do that to anyone. Okay,
May.
great.
May.
Great. Did I get everyone? Okay. May is with Sasha. She's on the credit repair team. She's with Sasha.
Okay.
Hey guys, morning.
Okay. And May is May and I go back a little ways, and we have a little history together, but we'll share that. We'll save that story for another time. So, okay. So for now, let's see. I'm going to get up my first piece of my presentation, and I will share it on the screen with you. Okay. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great, great. All right, so as I indicated at the opening, I'm a residential realtor with Coldwell Banker Real Estate. And right now I want to talk about the buyer side of the process of home shopping and a little bit about me here. I'm not going to go too much into my bio. All my contact information is on the screen for you, and anyone who's interested or needs, feel free to let me know in the chat or in any other way, and I will be happy to reach out to you for any kind of assistance that you need. Um, Very quick bio. I'm originally from New England. I've been a longtime resident of Florida. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I have held management positions a lot in the telecom industry, also in retail, and I am also a experienced fix and flip investor on the investor side. I work with real estate investors, and I am in the process of uh, achieving my real estate investor certification, which I'm excited about. I have attained real estate investor certification through the Miami Board of Realtors. However, this is a private endeavor that I'm undertaking at this time. So enough about me. And so one of the most important things that you can do when you are in the process of buying a property is the selection of your realtor. Your realtor is your partner in the process. They guide you through the experience. They help coordinate all the activities essential to getting you to your closing. And they become a very valuable asset, and a lot of times a friend, a long-term lifetime friend by the time your transaction is over. So the selection of your realtor is very, very important, and I'm here to tell you that I'm the best realtor for you that you can select. And I work very hard at what I do, and I am here to watch your back. The process of what happens. So if you contact me and you say, hey, Keith, I'm ready to start shopping for a house, then one of the first things I'm going to do is say, have you been pre-approved, and do you know what your spending range is for the property that you're looking for? If you have not done that, then I'm going to refer you over to Bill, and we'll let Bill talk about that when we talk to his piece. Okay, once you've gone through the pre-approval process and we know your budget, then we set you up on a search and we start looking for your property. And once you select your properties to view, we look at them, and when you pick out your dream house, then I will submit an offer on your behalf, and the negotiation process begins. One of the most critical things that your realtor can do for you is help negotiate the terms of your contract and evaluate the terms that are coming back and forth as to whether or not they're in your best interest. Okay, once all of that is settled and both you and the seller have agreed on the terms of the contract, then we have acceptance of the contract. And at that point, essentially all of the other people who are here on this presentation as the team, they all become involved in different pieces, and I help you coordinate those activities, keep you on track, keep everybody on track to make sure that you get to closing and you close on your home and you move in, and hopefully you start a lifetime of happiness in your new property. Okay, so I've talked about these things here of all of what we do. Okay, so to get to your closings, here's some of the key things that are involved. So you'll have a home inspection, and Oscar's going to talk about the inspection services that Gaia offers and what they do. Inspections are key to making sure that you're buying a property that is absent of major issues. Okay. The title company steps in and does a title search, and Kevin is going to speak in depth about that because he is quite knowledgeable in that area. An appraisal will occur, and the appraiser will make sure that the loan is being guaranteed. The loan that Bill will assemble for you is being guaranteed by the value of the home. Okay. An appraisal can often be a roadblock or a stumbling point, or an obstacle to overcome. So again, the key in your selection of using a realtor is making sure that your realtor is well versed in handling appraisal issues. Okay. Then there's the final walkthrough and the closing. Okay. We're going to go through here. Okay. During the process, as a Coldwell Banker client of mine, your transaction, all your forms will be entered into a system called Homebase, and you'll be given a login, and you will be able to see all of what's happening with your documents and everything, all the activities and services related to your purchase anytime during the transaction. And then forever after, you will have access to your documents in case you need them, whether it's for financial planning, estate planning, tax purposes, or just going back to look at something on the record that you need to check out. So that's a value that's offered to you through me and Coldwell Banker. Okay. Within Coldwell Banker, there are in-house companies that do a lot of what the folks on this call are going to be on this presentation are going to be talking about. There are in-house services there. As an agent, I'm not obligated to use the companies that are affiliated with Coldwell Banker. However, they do offer everything under one umbrella, and just wanted to let you know about that. This is a glossary of terms here that you're seeing on the screen. These are all common terms I would share with you if you became my client, because they're all things that you will encounter during the process or may encounter, and you'll want to know about and become versed in. Okay. And essentially getting started in your home buying process is number one, giving me a call, emailing me, texting me, reaching out to me in many means. I'm on Facebook. You can find me in many places. I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm here for you. I'm your resource. Okay. I provide personal service. Every real estate transaction is unique. That's one of the fascinating things about this industry, and I can tell you that you will be pleased with the service I provide. I will keep you informed. I will be your advocate, and we will work through the issues as they come up, because surely they will come up. Anybody who's bought a house will let you know that things always seem to come up along the way, but part of my job is to help clear the path and make it as smooth as possible so that we get you to your closing. Okay. All right, and I'm going to switch over real quickly to the seller side. Does everybody see my picture on your screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so again, we've already talked about who I am. We're going to skip through that. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about why me and why Coldwell Banker. So Coldwell Banker is the #1 real estate company in the United States. And this data, by the way, is as of 2019. You can see the companies that follow behind us, and there's nobody near to us. In addition to that, we are #1 in the state of Florida. And you can see the companies that followed behind us in 2019 as well. We're also #1 in $1 million plus sales in the state of Florida. And here you can see the companies that follow behind us as well. And we are #1 in Broward and Miami-Dade counties as well. So with my expertise and the backing and support of a brand name of Coldwell Banker, you are, by making a choice of using me to sell your property, you are definitely making a very good choice. Beyond that, I have something that I can offer which is exclusive to the Coldwell Banker Realty world, which is called our exclusive listing concierge. And I'm going to skip through this screen, which tells you what's in the package, because I'm going to flip through and give you a little more detail about each piece. So We will do, included in the package that I will provide to you, we will do up to 35 professional photos, which are perfect for print and for online use to make your property look its very best. Okay. From those photos, we will create property brochures. The brochures would be used in things like open houses for handing out to people who are interested in seeing your property or people who would contact me. Okay. We will assign you a single property website. There will be a professionally designed website that is viewable on all devices and easily shared on social media, which I would do for you as your agent. And we do targeted online advertising. Coldwell Banker as a company spends millions and millions of dollars each year gathering analytic data from the internet providers, and they are able to hone in on your target market for your property. Many times Coldwell Banker's research will actually help market the property specifically to somebody who is interested in your property, and they actually become a buyer. It's really exciting of what they can do behind the scenes. Okay. Let's see. There would be an e-flyer generated, a professional e-flyer that I would send out to professional and personal contacts. And in addition to that, your property would be marketed on television. So there's a professionally produced spot that's posted on At Home in Florida YouTube channel and is featured on one of Coldwell Banker's local TV shows. At Home in Southeast Florida is on the CW channel Sundays at 9 a.m., both here and in the Treasure Coast. And your property would be marketed on that channel. Okay. Additionally, the silver envelope home announcement would go out to your neighbors in your neighborhood. It would be an announcement of your property being listed for sale. It comes inside a very attention-getting silver envelope. It looks like an invitation, and most people open them immediately thinking there's something special inside, which of course there is if we're trying to sell your house. The property tour is generated from the photography and is also presented online. Okay. Print advertising. The View magazine, which is a Coldwell Banker magazine, is issued statewide. It gets inserted into newspapers throughout the state. And it also is distributed through offices and such, like doctor's offices. So when you go into the doctor's office, those magazines that are often there for you to look at while you're waiting, the View magazine is one of those that gets solicited. And your house would be showcased in that magazine as well. Okay. Additionally, through Coldwell Banker's database, all agents would be notified once your property was listed, so that they could bring it to the attention of buyers who fit the profile for your property. And through the internet, your property would be marketed on over 700 websites. This is a generic list you see in front of you: Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, and all of the typical ones you know, including Coldwell Banker Homes, which many people do visit when they are shopping for a property. Okay. In addition, you would be given updates as to everything that has taken place, all the marketing that has occurred, and where we are with everything. For your property. It would be a minimum of every 15 days, and it would outline all the activities that have happened or are planned to happen. Okay. And to get started, again, I would be happy and pleased to help you with listing your property for sale. It's critical when you make that selection of a realtor to use that they're knowledgeable about your property, that they are well versed in properly pricing your property for sale, because the key there is if you are not properly priced, then your property may not sell, or it may take a very long time to sell, which is probably not in your best interest. Okay. All right. Well, that is the end of my presentation. So I am going to go ahead now and let's see if I can get us back. Okay, where am I? Okay. All right, so next up in our presentation, in the flow of the transaction, remember at the beginning I indicated to you that if you were looking to buy a home, that one of the first things I would ask you is, have you been pre-approved? And if you have been pre-approved, then if you have not been pre-approved, then I'm going to refer you to Bill. And Bill, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Thank you, Keith. Good morning, everyone. As Keith mentioned, I am Bill Anderson with Guaranteed Rate. I've been in the industry for over 30 years now. I just moved to Florida from Connecticut last year and began with Guaranteed Rate in September. My clients over the years have said that I provide excellent customer service, only ask for documents that are necessary, and have been able to close many deals smoothly. So let's talk about the home buying benefit. There are a lot of responsibilities that come with home ownership. When you're renting, if something breaks, you're able to call the landlord to fix it. When you own the house yourself, if something breaks, you're responsible for taking care of it.
Excuse me, guys, can't really hear too well.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me better now?
It sounds very, very low. I don't know if that's just me. Keith, can you hear him?
I can hear him. Bill, I don't know if you can get your volume up a little higher, or I'm not sure if you got distance between you and your microphone.
Let me try coming up here and see if that is better. Also, gain to a secure place to live. Your property will appreciate in value, most likely. You're able to build equity that you can then use for home improvements or other expenses through refinancing that mortgage. You may save money on your taxes by deducting the mortgage interest. One of the main positives is that your home is your own. You can do with it what you like to reflect your lifestyle. It offers you stability. You can make it what you want and create a lifetime of memories. As Keith mentioned, one of the first parts of looking for a home is finding out how much you can afford. And in order to do that, we need to understand your income, and we do that by looking at your last year's W-2s as well as the most recent pay stubs. We also look at your last 2 bank statements so that we can understand what funds you have for a down payment and closing costs. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a couple minutes. Another part that's really important is your credit report. We pull your credit from all 3 credit reporting agencies, and we use that middle score to determine what the score is. The score is very important because it impacts the interest rate that you are charged on your mortgage. There are companies out there like Credit Karma, and you can get your credit report score pulled from credit cards. There's a different algorithm that's used in the mortgage industry than what those are providing. The number is very similar, but it's not going to be exactly the same, and it's important to understand that. So it's important to understand what you can afford so that when you go looking for the house, you're looking at the right price range. So we look at your income and determine what a monthly payment would be comfortable for you. It's typically comprised of your principal, interest. We collect for property taxes and homeowners insurance on a monthly basis. So there's an amount that you qualify for, and there's a number that you're comfortable with. And a lot of times you qualify for more than what you want your payment to be. So in conversation, we'll determine what that amount is. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we're also going to know what funds you have available for a down payment and closing costs. So the minimum down payment on a purchase, you can do it with as little as 3%. So if you're buying a home that's priced at $200,000, you'll need $6,000 for a down payment, and then there'll be closing costs. And closing costs are based on the price of the property that you're buying. And I would be happy to talk to you one-on-one and determine what the cost would be for that scenario. So let's talk a little bit about the mortgage process. As I mentioned earlier, it's important to get pre-approved. You and I will meet and discuss what your goals are, and then we'll fill out an application. During that process, we're going to collect W-2s, the last 30 days of pay stubs, and your last 2 bank statements. And with that, we're also going to pull your credit. And with all of that information, we'll be able to figure out how much it is that you qualify for. It's important at this point not to apply for any additional credit, whether it be a credit card, car loan, no additional credit until you've been approved and you close on that home purchase. Now that you know how much you can qualify for, you'll once again work with Keith to find out the house that is best for your budget. And during the process, we make estimates on taxes, costs of insurance, homeowners fees if you're looking at a condo. And so as those properties you're looking at have different fees, it's important for us to talk and make sure that you still are qualified for that loan amount. You found the perfect home. Keith helps you negotiate the contract. You sign the contract of purchase with the seller. We get that contract. We also get updated income and asset documents. We get proof of your earnest money deposit, which is the down payment that you are putting in as a deposit for that contract. From this point on, we are going to work to get your loan approved. We get an appraisal. We connect you with Oscar for the inspection. We have you work with Lazaro for getting your insurance, and all of this will come together very smoothly. Once we have all of your information, we submit it into underwriting. You know, when it goes into underwriting, we have a good idea that you are going to be approved because I've been working with you from the beginning in this process. Once it comes out of underwriting, we call it a conditional approval because there may be additional information that we need. Maybe when we collected your pay stubs, they're older now, so we need to get an updated one. When it comes out of underwriting, there could be no requests for documentation, or there could be a couple of them. It depends really on the scenario, as each scenario is different. Whatever information the underwriter is looking for, we'll submit. And then at that point, we're going to send out a closing disclosure, which is a form that shows you what the closing costs are. You'll get them in the beginning, but this is a more accurate information at this time. And now at this point, you'll work with Kevin on closing. We'll figure out when that date's going to be. You'll bring in a certified bank check or a wire for whatever those closing costs and down payment are. You'll close with Kevin and his team, receive your keys, and the home is yours. One final thing that I wanted to mention is that at Guaranteed Rate, we have a program that's called Give to You. So when you buy a home with a 3% down payment, we'll kick in the additional 2%. So your down payment could be up to 5%, or you can use that 2% that we're giving you to use it toward closing costs. I'd be happy to talk to you about this program and get you pre-qualified so that you can begin working with Keith to find the home of your dreams. And there's my contact information. At this point, I am going to turn it over to Sasha, who is going to talk to you about her company, United Credit Education Services. Thank you.
All righty. Hey, everybody. So thank you all for having me on here. Thank you so much, Bill, for that great information. Thank you, Keith. You know, if anybody needs a realtor or a lender, these are your two guys. You don't have to look anywhere else. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. That way I can talk about how we can improve that credit in the case, you know, many of you may have, you know, good credit and ready to buy. Maybe you know of others that want to become a homeowner, but they don't have the credit to do so, right? We need credit and income to do so. So I'm going to talk to you about the credit side. My name is Sasha Carbonell. I've been in the industry now for a couple of years, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what credit consists of, how credit repair cannot, you know, how it could not have to be taboo, how we can actually go ahead and leverage a certain law that's in place to help you out and, you know, to benefit you in the end. And let's get right to it. Okay, I'll show you different services that will be included within our program, and we'll go from there. So welcome everybody. I'm going to show you guys the power of credit. If you don't know how your credit is calculated, there is 5 different factors. Okay, so it's not just make your payments on time. There's a lot more to it. Although payment history does count as the majority of it all, that is 35% is your payment history. That is totally in your control. So you want to make sure that you don't have any late payments, right? Because then that'll lead to collections, that'll lead to charge-offs, all that, you know, craziness. So we want to make sure if we can avoid that, that we can. But in the case that you have made some, you know, mistakes in the past, or, you know, we've kind of fell off on payments, that's okay. We can help you out. The second way that your credit score is calculated is 30% is your amount used. So you want to make sure that the utilization rate, there's a bit of a trick, right? There's the date that your payment is due, but then you also have the statement date. So you want to make sure that before the statement date of any of your credit card payments that you're making, you know, you're making a payment to where your utilization is going to show less than 30%. All right, because that's how much you want to, you know, keep it. That way you don't have, you know, maxed out credit cards, all that good stuff. So the next way that your FICO score is calculated, 15% is your length of credit. I like to say credit cards and, you know, credit lines, they're like wine, right? The longer, the better. So make sure that you do not close your accounts. Keep them open with as much as we want to just say, forget about this card. I paid it off. You know, I'm going to chop it up. Go ahead and, you know, use it just to buy a piece of gum here and there. Put it in your drawer, but do not close the account. 10% after that is your new credit. All right, so that's pretty much, you know, let's say you it's Christmas time, right? And you're out there retail shopping. Do not fall for the, hey, apply for our credit card and get 15%, 25%. Okay, they're gonna say that all year round. It's not just for Christmas time. So just make sure that you're not killing yourself with tons of inquiries. When you go to a car dealership, make sure that you're telling them, hey, only run my credit about 3 times, so that way you don't get, you know, a bunch of inquiries. They'll swipe your credit, so that way you can go ahead and you know, be sent to 20 different lenders. Next thing you know, you have 20 different inquiries, and they can affect you by about 3 to 5 points each inquiry. At the next step, 10% is types of credit used. All right, so that's going to be your installment loans versus your revolving accounts, right? Installment loans would be your car note. It could be your mortgage loan. There's also a program that I do like to refer clients to. It's called Self-Lender. It does show up as an installment loan on your credit report, and you're going to be building your credit while building a savings at the same time. You do need about $25 to start that program. It's not a program that I offer, but it is something that's out there to help bring value and to help really people bring up their credit score. And as the lender, you know, Bill, I'm sure he wants to go ahead and see a combination of the two, revolving and installment loans. So that's how your FICO score is calculated. So how exactly are we able to fix people's credit, right? How are we able to magically get negative items removed off of people's credit reports? Well, there's this law that's in place. It's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA. It was enacted back in 1971. And it gives all Americans the right to dispute and investigate anything that is negative on their credit report. Okay, do not think that you have to wait 6-7 years to get an item deleted, because if we can dispute it now and anything is inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable, then the item must get permanently deleted from your credit report when you leverage this law. All right, so we have credit attorneys in place. We have our documents department in place. We generate the dispute letters. The letters will be sent over directly to the client's house. From there, the client will mail off the letters to the credit bureaus. And by law, the credit bureaus do have 30 days to respond back. just know as that's why our clients, they do start to see results within 45 to 90 days, but also our clients, they do have their own customer portal where they have access to monitor everything. You can see the 5 factors of how their credit score is calculated, what I just went over as well. Tons of credit education tools and tips and tricks that you can go ahead and educate yourself on, right? So it really doesn't matter what the negative item is. We have seen over 1 million negative items get deleted off of people's credit reports, okay? I mean, I even have my own mom. We helped her out with her credit. On the first round of letters, we got 6 late payments from her student loans deleted. Second round of letters, we got 3 more collection accounts deleted this past January. You know, this is something that goes in rounds, okay? So that's definitely something that I want to emphasize. Do not think credit repair is going to be an overnight fix. And if somebody promises you that they can fix your credit overnight, run, okay? They're not doing it legally. So you want to make sure that you are out here following the proper procedures to eliminate these negative items. And that's why, you know, you need a reputable and established company to help you out to do so. So like I was mentioning, what we're going to do and how our process works is within the customer portal. As a client, you're going to want to activate your credit restoration service. So that way, you know, you'll be able to see everything that's negative from all 3 credit bureaus and know that our system, we dispute everything all at once for you. So within this program, we do not charge per negative item or per credit bureau. Just if you have 20 negative items per credit bureau, we're going to dispute all of them all at once for you. Okay. I mean, I have had clients where I've seen 12 negative items get deleted on the first round of letters, 10 negative items get deleted on the first round of letters. So why would we limit ourselves to just 1 at a time? We're not here to elongate the process. We want to make sure that we're getting you the fastest and most efficient results possible. So just know we have been in business since 2004. So we do have 16 years in the game. We do have a live customer support. Normally they're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time, but due to the whole coronavirus, our customer support is open from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Okay, so over here, what's going to happen, right? The letters, they're going to be mailed out to the client's house. You want to go ahead and mail them off to the credit bureaus. And like I was mentioning, by law, the credit bureaus, they do have 30 days to respond back. So at that point, you are going to be receiving some hard copy dispute results in the mail. And at that point, you want to let one of us team members know so that way we can go ahead and send corporate a copy and your portal will get updated. So you'll be able to see everything that's in dispute. And when the time comes, you can actually see what got deleted as well. Okay, so just know you're never left in the dark. You can definitely see what's going on. And we do guarantee 100% customer satisfaction. Now, what makes us so different from others, you know, aside from what I mentioned where we dispute everything all at once to ensure the fastest results possible, just know that you're going to get a lot of value for your buck. Okay, you're going to have credit restoration included. You'll have credit monitoring included, so you can monitor your credit 24/7. Within there, also, you do get up to $1 million in identity theft insurance just in case. Identity monitoring. Every 2 seconds, somebody's identity is stolen. And I want you to know that this service is something that we can help out individuals nationwide. In the case you do have family members that are out of state. Okay, so identity monitoring, you know, we are out here helping people protect their social. You can even plug in your social medias to protect yourself from the dark web. Included, you'll have access to a credit attorney. Okay, right there is if you need any type of legal advice or you're suffering from debt harassment, we can help you with that. If you need credit builder, you need tips and tricks on how to establish credit, how to become an authorized user on a trustworthy family member, right? There's different tricks that you can do to start building your credit. Will and trust, okay? So this is something to go ahead and protect any assets that you may have, anything that you own. If you have life insurance, you know, let's say you contact Bill, you contact Keith, you get that home. You want to make sure that you are protecting that house, right? Most families don't have the money to take if they pass away, to take their house into probate, right? That's going to cost you thousands of dollars. So over here, just take advantage because you can put that, hey, this house is going to be passed down to this loved one and you can keep it in the family. So set up your will and trust. That's already included. You do have a program, debt payoff. You plug in all your debt, you know, that mortgage loan, any credit card debt, show you the most efficient way to pay off any debt that you may have. and more. Okay, you have budgeting tools, financial lockbox. It's like a cloud where you can input all your sensitive information, like credit card information, you know, different things like that. In the case, you know, if you're out and about and you forget your card at home, at least you have the card number on you within the financial lockbox. Make sense? So there's all of these different tools to help protect your credit, identity, assets. That's included while we're out here fixing your credit. All right. So just know as well, additionally, if you want to build your credit, we do have some trade lines that we can help you out with. If you or anybody you know have been renting, we can actually add up to 2 years worth of rental history onto their credit reports. As of right now, we are reporting to TransUnion. Within this next month, we are going to be also reporting to Equifax, which is great. So at the same time, you know, if you've been spending thousands of dollars on rent, normally that's not already being added onto your credit report. You might as well make your money worth, you know, something, make it count for something. So that's why we have this program in place to help a lot of renters become homeowners. We also have our secured credit card. We're partnered with First Progress Bank on that. It is a $200 minimum to open up the card. There is a 9.99% interest rate, which is really low. And there is a $49 annual fee for that card as well. What I like to tell my clients is, hey, listen, you know, while you're getting your credit fixed, you could be building your credit at the same time. That's going to give you the fastest results possible, depending on how soon are you looking to get that goal towards home ownership. So that's pretty much what I got. I hope you guys learned something. Remember, you know, if you took out anything from this presentation, learn about the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But just know that we do have professionals here that know how to word the dispute letters. You know, do not think that electronically disputing is going to have the same power as a black and white dispute, right? So you want to make sure, if you would like to learn more about our program, we do have a very, very special promotion going on today until 9 p.m. Eastern time. Go ahead, take a screenshot of this slide while you can, and text credit to 954-670-4250. You will be speaking to one of our team members named May, and she'll be the one to help you out in getting enrolled. Okay, so thank you all so much, and I look forward to helping you towards your journey in homeownership. Okay, so thank you all so much.
Thank you, Sasha. Great presentation. Very, very, very helpful. So the next step in the process, once we've got your credit repaired and we're ready to shop and Bill's got you approved and we shop, we select your property and get under contract. The next people that come into play would be the title company. And so I'm going to hand this over to Kevin at Independence Title and let him take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Can hear you, yes.
And you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. It's working. All right, everyone. So good morning. For those of you that have never met me, my name is Kevin Thatcher, and I am the owner of Independence Title. And I'm going to talk for about the next couple of minutes here, just explaining to you a little bit about the title process. You know, most people don't realize that they have the opportunity. A lot of times it's one of the industry professionals that you look towards to select your title company. You know, they tell you who to write the deposit to, and you know, you don't really understand that process until you get a call from someone that says, you know, come to closing with some money. So I like to educate you a little bit on the process, so you see a little bit about what we do, and know that your referral partners on here, between Bill and Keith, they're working with trusted professionals, and it's always important to make sure that they have the proper team together. So you need to, you know, that's why these seminars are so important, to make sure that you have the right team on your side to give you all aspects of a successful transaction, because the transaction isn't just about buying the home, it's about making sure you get in the right home for the right price, for the least amount of money down, and a home that you're going to live there for many, many years. So as you can see on this first slide, I have been featured in many things. My most recent was on NBC 6 Today, South Florida, just the other day. I'll be in the Miami Herald either today or tomorrow, just talking about what's been going on in the economy. So a lot of these news outlets reach out to me because they know we are one of the largest in South Florida. We are one of the most educated in South Florida, because we can actually hold a conversation about what is title, what about the real estate market, how does this global pandemic affect our market, What are the upsides? What are the downsides? So, you know, I'm honored to be on a lot of these different platforms. And I tell you that because you want to make sure that you have the people you can reach out to that are resources, not someone that's just going to sell you a product or a service, but they're going to actually guide you in what's right for you. So a little bit about me. I was born up in New York. I moved down. I was a firefighter, actually, and I moved down from New York just 20 days before September 11th. So, you know, we're going through a global pandemic right now, and that was a very rough time back in that time as well. You know, being down here, I was kind of stuck here. I really wanted to be back up there. And my wife and I really sat and figured out, you know, what makes us different? What makes us unique in the industry? And the reason I like to tell people that is because, you know, we have this go in, get out mentality together. So I want to make sure you're not just buying a home. I want to make sure you know what you're buying, you know why you're buying it, you know how you're going to pay for it for the next 30 years if you choose to get a 30-year fixed rate loan, and make sure you have a team that's by your side. So we'd like to share this because we want you to know that we're going in the deal with you as your partner, and we're going to be by your side forever. There's no questions that you know, we say the deal's done and we're not going to answer the phone. We want to make sure we're here as a resource for you, no matter what questions you have. I have authored a couple of books you see here. There's 5 of them. You can get them all on Amazon. The most recent was this Rescue Your Business, which actually comes in play now. It talks about a lot of the lessons that I learned many, many years ago. But it's just great resources. The Title Insurance Tips and Secrets one, you know, talks about being a first-time home buyer and what are some of the tips and tricks that you know where you can save money. You know, you may not always have the choice of who you're going to use, what vendors you get to select, but you want to make sure that you have the education. So that's a great book. And anyone on this call, you can always email me and I can send you a PDF copy. And if we have the actual book printed, we'll be happy to put one in the mail for you as my gift for attending today. And there's no cost with that. So you just send me over an email and we'll be happy to get that book out to you. So a little bit about me. The thing I like to tell people, I founded this company back in 2003. I'm what's called a Florida licensed title insurance agent. So I'm not a real estate attorney. I like to leave the legal work to the attorneys. Let the legal work handle that. The process of buying a home and working with a title company in the state of Florida is unique. You do not need to be a real estate attorney. The contract is fill in the blank, so the contracts are not drafted by attorneys. Although they were designed and developed by attorneys, just like the title insurance industry is, it's not a requirement in order to get the deal closed. So you want to make sure you're not just hiring someone because you say, oh, I want to work with an attorney. The question I ask is always why. Are you going to work with an attorney? Are their fees going to be reasonable and comparable to a title company? And are you going to get great service? And if the answer to that question is yes, then that's where you belong closing your deal. If the answer is, well, no, they're going to charge me more and I'm not going to get the same excellent level of customer service, then you want to look for a title company such as Independence Title to be able to handle your closing. It's very, very important. I've been doing this for 18 years. I've closed just a little over 10,000 deals, both on the investor side and on the traditional buyer and seller side. So I understand the industry and I understand how to guide you through to the closing table. We have been awarded top 5 title company in the state of Florida. What does that mean for you? It means we stand behind our product. So if and when you have a title claim, because it happens, it's an insurance policy, you want to make sure you have a title company that's not going to send you somewhere else to find help. You want to make sure you have someone that is large enough and backed by national underwriters that will be able to stand behind their product and make sure they handle your claim at any time, no matter what it takes. We do have, Bill talked a little bit about closing costs. That's the number one question we get, are what are closing costs? So you want to make sure you know what closing costs are. So you can go to our website. We have a free closing cost calculator. You can see here, you can sign up as a homeowner, as a home buyer, as a home seller, as a real estate agent, as a mortgage professional, and you can learn what are closing costs. So if you have a question at 2 o'clock in the morning because you can't sleep, you can log on to the app, you can generate closing costs on a specific property, and you can have a better understanding financially of what it's going to cost you in order to buy that home. So what is title insurance? I like to explain people because they don't really understand. Title insurance is an indemnity policy that insures title defects and protects in reverse. So unlike the car you drive today, the doctor you go visit at some point, you know, that protects future risk. When you buy homeowners insurance, it's protecting future risk. When you buy title insurance, it's protecting in the past. So you pay it one time. It's a one-time policy that you're going to pay at the closing table, and it's going to protect you for the life you own the loan. The only caveat to that is when you go to refinance the home the number one question people ask is, well, why do I need to buy title insurance again? And the answer to that is you're not buying it for you, you're buying it for your new lender. So it's very important to understand what title insurance is, what it covers, what it doesn't cover. That's a whole nother seminar I give, but you just need to know that it's covering issues that have come up in the past, not issues that are going to come up in the future. And some of these issues could be old mortgages, old sellers, heirs to an estate of the seller that passed away, debt collectors. There are a lot of people that come and try and put claim to a property, and you want to make sure you have a title company and a title insurance policy that will protect your interest to defend any claim that would come up. So a lot of questions that people ask us are prices regulated? Yes, in the state of Florida, title insurance charges are regulated. There are some title companies that charge more. There are some that charge less for their what we'll call junk fees. So you want to make sure you definitely shop around, but the title insurance premium itself is regulated. When we talk about what coverages you need, you want to make sure you're buying a title insurance policy that will cover you as the buyer. If you're getting a loan, it's going to cover the seller as well at the same time. You do not buy two policies, you will buy one. Who usually pays? We're obviously in Broward County a lot. So in Broward County, the buyer usually picks the title company. In Palm Beach County, the seller usually picks the title company. So who usually pays depends. I'm always a big fan on making sure the buyer pays because it's the buyer's title insurance policy. I would never want the seller to pay for a policy, even if it's going to save me a few dollars, to hopefully rely on the person they're selecting to protect me should a claim arise. So you want to look for a few things. Is the seller pushing a certain title company? Why are they pushing them? Who can you trust in the industry? You can obviously see there's a number of industry professionals on here, so you know who you can trust. You can trust the team that's on this call today. And how much reassurance do I need? You need a lot. Make sure you Google these companies. Make sure you check Facebook reviews. Make sure they have a good rating online, not just one or two recommendations, but you want to make sure they have several testimonials from clients that have used them, industry professionals that have used them, so you know you're hiring someone that you can trust. Couple of different searches that we offer. We do what's called the lien search, which are unrecorded issues. These are going to be searches that are going to check for permitting, code enforcement, and utility bills, everything that you can't see in the public records. Then we do a title search, which is everything that would be recorded. So that's going to be talking about mortgages, any type of liens, homeowners association liens, judgments, federal tax liens, anything that we can see that has been affected to what we call the legal description of the property. We're going to check your property taxes. We want to make sure that your property taxes are actually paid with the property tax collector. So we're going to call them and make sure that taxes are collected, taxes are paid, how much are they? So this way you know when you get into the deal that the taxes from the previous owner have been paid and you're getting the right amount of credit when you get to that closing table. And then we check to make sure that the people you're doing business with are not on what's called the OFAC list, which is basically a terrorist watch list. We want to make sure there's no money laundering. We're not dealing with any clients that do not belong in this transaction, so that you're protected all the way along the way. Some of the charges as I wrap up here, we talk about are what's called on your HUD-1 or your closing disclosure. It used to be a HUD-1. We still do use that document, but there are also going to be the new closing disclosure document, which Bill can talk more about. But we talk about realtor commissions, transaction charges, lender charges, investors, have different funding fees, lien searches and title searches, and who pays for them, owner's title insurance and lender's title insurance. Depending on the type of property you're buying, there'll be a survey included. So, when we talk about a lot of these charges, the reason we bring them up is not every deal is the same. There is no blanket fee of what costs are. It's going to depend on your purchase price, the county in which you're buying, the type of property it is, and what partners you're working with. So there are a lot of variations in what normal closing costs are going to be. And then the last thing I want to end with, we were a pioneer in the industry talking about electronic closings that everyone is doing now. We've been doing electronic closings since 2018. So everything gets signed, notarized, and recorded. So it's very important. You want to make sure, especially in today's market, if you're going to go out with Keith and you're going to find a house in the next couple of weeks, you want to make sure you're working with a title company that can close a deal fully electronically And I know Bill can, because we were just on a training with his company. They are one of the first lenders in the state of Florida that I've seen that also have programs closing things electronically. So it's very, very important, because with the courthouses being closed, you want to make sure we can get your deal signed, sealed, delivered, recorded, and get that property in your name before someone has an opportunity to jump in before you. So it's very important to work with people that are up on technology. They can use DocuSign, they can use electronic notarization, they can use electronic recording, and get you secured in that property as quick as possible. So if you have any questions, you can give our office a call. You see the number below. You also see our website below. You can check it out there. All of our contact information is on there. Reach out to me anytime. Send me a message. I'll be happy to put a copy of one of our books in the mail for you, again, and answer any questions you have. So good luck in your home buying process. Thank you, Keith and Bill, for putting this on. I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to seeing all of you new homeowners at that closing table. Have a good day.
Thank you, Kevin. Excellent presentation and really valuable information for those in the process of acquiring their new home. Next step in the process of acquiring your new home is gone to contract. You started working with your title company, and once you go under contract, you have a very limited amount of time to get your property inspected. So I'm going to next introduce Oscar, and he is from Gaia Construction and Inspections, and I'm going to let him take it from here.
All right. First of all, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Keith, for inviting me to this presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to view this on full screen. Can you see it better now?
Very good, yes.
Okay, excellent. So we're ready. My name is Oscar Echeverri. I'm a general contractor and home inspector. I've been involved in the industry since 2001. So hopefully next year, going 20 years in the business. The company that we've created is Gaia GC Construction Incorporated, which is a general contracting company, and Gaia Inspections Inc., which is a home inspection company with both licensed and insured. We're going to be talking to you about the inspection process and the inspection reports and the reason of why to inspect. Obviously, you should never, under any circumstances, refuse or don't inspect the house that you're buying. Even if it's a brand new house, you will always find little items here and there that the contractor has left unchecked. And in brand new houses, you're entitled up to a 5-year warranty. So we can help you in that. Even if it's a brand new house, remember, you're always going to inspect. Never skip this step. The inspection process and the inspection reports is a very simple process. Once you get that property under contract, request as much inspection time as possible. The reason is because not only will allow us to conduct properly the inspection process, but it will give you time to research on public records if necessary. I know Kevin already spoke about this on the title part, but if you want to conduct your own research, especially on the history of permits, which is important. Most of the title company, I'm not sure about Kevin, most of the title companies will look into the open permits, and obviously that comes up right away, but the closed permit, the actual history, may not come up unless you request that specifically, because that has nothing to do with the title search. So if you see a house that is being recently renovated, the most important for you should be to look at the records in the building department and see if this house was renovated with permits or not. And that will give you an idea of what was done in the house. The third part would be present, after we conclude the inspection, present the report and get the estimate for repairs to the seller, and request a reduction and negotiate a new price based on the repair facts when possible. I'm sure Keith will help you with that, of course, if applicable. These things, if applicable. I want to clarify also that the inspection process is only additional to what we call the seller disclosures. And the seller disclosures are in essence, the legality of the transaction. Anything that affects the material value of the property and is very well known by the seller should be disclosed to you as a buyer. Once again, Keith definitely will help you to navigate these. And once we go through that, then the inspection process will be in addition to your initial disclosures. All right, moving forward, what do we inspect and what do we include in the report? Exterior walls, exterior finishes, structure, roofing, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, that means heat, ventilation, and air conditioning system. Interior finishes, kitchen cabinets, paint, floor, baseboards, etc. Possible illegal work, illegal addition and enclosures. We're gonna touch bases on point number 8, very specific because we're in South Florida, and through my years of experience, this is like the plague, the illegal work and the illegal additions, garage enclosure. Guys, this is everywhere. Everywhere we see it, doesn't matter the neighborhood, we will find this situation. And in some cases, the properties are listed as 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, when in reality are 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Once again, we will help you navigate all of these processes. We inspect the pool deck, and the landscaping. I'm gonna take you to a couple of pictures in which you can see the circumstances in which we find some of the properties that we inspect for our investor clients. And these are the type of properties that will require extensive repair. Since we are general contractors, we always put every single item as a line item, and we include a specific amount of money for the possible repairs. Now, whether you want to repair this with our perspective or with our pricing or with our company is irrelevant to the inspection process. What you need to know is that we're giving you guidance as to how to proceed and what we have found and what it may cost you down the road if you decide to move forward with any specific property. In this particular case, on this slide, we find right here, the columns are deteriorated. And as you can see, the deterioration of those columns will call for the columns to be completely replaced, remove and replace. So anything related to structure will always be probably your most expensive items. On the left picture, we see what we call hairline cracks. Those are very common. Those are settlement on the foundation of the property. You can easily tackle this when they appear, but if you leave them unchecked, they will grow and the foundation will continue to have defects and to grow the damage. Right here, we see on the middle and on the right side, the crawl space in a house. And if your inspection company doesn't have access or doesn't want to inspect the crawl space, that's a red flag. At that moment, you should talk to your inspector and tell them to stop the inspection process and find someone that can actually have at least a minimum amount of access, to the crawl space. If the crawl space is not accessible, you may end up, like on the right picture, you may end up having to pay for proper structural repairs because nobody saw it. You should be able to request an extension in the inspection process if you find any items that you're most concerned, such as a structural, because you may have to call a third party, such as an structural engineer, to come back and reassess what we have found. Normally, we're pretty good at these things and we price them properly. But if you feel like you need a second opinion, you talk to your realtor and then you request an extension and see what else another party can tell you. Roofing, obviously, one of the most important items to me, because if you don't have a roof, you don't have anything else underneath. You have to be able to go on the roof. You don't get an inspection company that just go in a ladder and then the inspector stay on the ladder because he's afraid that he's gonna fall. You have to get that inspector on the roof no matter what, because the perspective from the roof is completely different than from where you are on the ground or with a drone or or, you know, on the eave of the roof, electrical, out of anything that we have inspect in a property, the electrical to me is the most important. And the reason why is because the electrical failures are the ones that are going to cause a fire, and the fire is the one that is going to kill someone in the event that this happens. And believe me, the fire itself, the heat will not kill the person. The person will die way before the fire gets to them just by inhaling CO2. I know you all understand that this is the most important part. On the left side, on the left picture, we can see a tankless water heater that was installed under the master bedroom of a house. And we asked the owner, I said, what made you believe that you did a proper installation in there? I said, well, I don't know, I just didn't have any other place to install it, and I really needed my area. I said, well, you just installing a time bomb underneath where you sleep. Obviously, this was done without permits, and that has to be removed from under the house. On the middle, you'll find what we call fuse boxes. The fuses are no longer allowed by the inspections company to remain in a house, and that has to be replaced before closing. And on the right side, you will find what we call defective panels. Defective panels are panels that the industry have recalled several times and therefore no longer in production. And there are 3 different types of panels. The Saintsco, the Federal Pacific that you see right here on the left. The third one, I don't remember right now, but we put all those 3 on the report, making sure that we inspect for them. And if we find them, you're not going to be able to close until the insurance company gives a green light after that panel is replaced. Another very common item is the picture on the right, is what we call the double taps. And the double taps are essentially 2 circuit feeding from 1 single breaker. That's a potential fire right there. On the plumbing part, you know, regardless of the condition of the plumbing, we may request a reduction, or we may request you to visualize what is it that you're going to be doing in the future with a bathroom, such like the one on the right side. Let's look at the one on the middle right here. The picture in the middle shows you a bathroom that is fully, you know, operational, is completely ready to use. But this is a bathroom that has been there for the last 30 years. So you have to think about it and say, okay, I'm gonna be buying this bathroom and this house that is 30, 40 years old. What type of money do I have to repair, to upgrade this place? And of course, you have done everything possible right now up to this point to make sure that your finances are in place to pay your mortgage, to pay your taxes, to pay your insurance. But have you include in your finances what it's gonna cost you to update a bathroom like the one in the middle, of the bathroom like the one on the right side, which, like I say, are fully operational. There's nothing wrong with the plumbing. It's just full upgrade of the bathroom is required. So keep that in mind. Items like the one right here on the right side, where we have a previous leak and we requested information on mold remediation, and the owner was unable to give us anything related to that. So the fact is that the plumbing is in good condition at this point. But now you have to remove the entire base of the kitchen and the countertops. We have to get to the back of the wall and redo the wall, redo the drywall, treat for mold as well, and then rebuild the kitchen. So a simple situation may look like a handyman can deal with. In reality, it may be thousands and thousands of dollars that you have to get out of pocket, or that you may have to request from your seller in order to move forward with the negotiation. Most of the time, people is reasonable and they will tell you, yes, I mean, we have to close, I have to give you X amount of money, and it will be definitely up to you to assess if the amount of money that they're giving you is the correct amount of money. We will here to help you and guide you through all of that. HVAC, heat ventilation and air conditioning systems. Normally the air conditioning system is not all, I mean, we wouldn't have any issues with the AC equipment itself, the compressor or the air handler. We may find most of the problems in the ductwork. On the left picture and the picture in the middle, you will find that these ductworks are completely failing left and right. When the ductwork fails, what happens is, in this particular case, it's a ductwork that is like 34 years old. We will have to have a leak, and that leak in the cold air will create condensation. Down the road, a couple of months later, after you move in the house, you will find a wet spot on your ceiling that will indicate that you have a leak. And then the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, my roof is failing. I have an issue with the roof, and it happens to be that is this old ductwork system that is just creating condensation and now creating water and now leaking on the ceiling. So if you're gonna conduct an inspection, make sure that your inspector gets in the gets in the attic and go through as much as he can, because sometimes the attic is tricky to get access to. Get pictures of the condition of the ductwork. Interior finishes, kitchen cabinets, paint, floor, baseboards, etc. What happens is, in some cases, we inspect these properties and the properties are in good condition. Then 1 month or 2 months later, when they're ready to close, there are missing items. The one on the left side, it was probably not in the best neighborhood. That's in Miami. And the day before closing, that was the condition that we ended up finding the house. They broke in weeks ago, and they took the cabinetry and they took some of the wiring. The picture in the middle, they took the carpet. Who will take the carpet out of a house? That's weird. We never seen anything like that, but it happens. And the picture on the right shows one of the requests that we made to the seller was to trim the branches outside so the house looks better, because it was the vegetation was overgrown. And he said that he will take care of that. That was simple, right? He took care of the trimming and he put it inside the efficiency that he had there. And we asked him, why would you do that? What was the reason behind trimming the trees and then putting everything in there? Of course, he didn't have any other space to put it. And his pickup date, the bulk pickup date, was not until like 2 weeks from the day that we requested that. And then when the client closed, he found all of these things in there. Of course, the guy, came back and moved all of that. But you will want to talk to Keith and walk through the property the day before you close, or the morning before you close, and have access to the property and see if it's in the same condition that we found it 15 or 20 days ago when we did the inspection. Interior finishes, kitchen cabinets, again. One of the issues that we find, and some sellers try to minimize the conditions of what we try to describe, is, for example, right here on the right side, we see about 15 to 20 pieces of tile that are broken. And we tell them, look, this is not a major structural problem, but technically you will not find this tile anywhere else in the market at this time. This tile probably is 40 years old. So what is going to happen is, if you have 2,000 square feet of tile in the house, you're not going to change 10, 20 pieces of tile. You're going to change 2,000 square feet. So the amount of money that gets involved in this specific repair, it could easily go up to like $12,000 at $6 per square foot. The picture in the middle shows you that they have had some type of water damage related to a roof leak, and the roof is a brand new roof, and they put permits and did everything by the book, but they never treated the drywall inside. And then the popcorn start falling apart, and the moisture remained there for a while. So the right thing to do in this particular case will be remove all of the drywall inside that area, and replace it. So it's not a $100 or $200 fix, guys. It's something that's gonna set you back a couple of $1,000s. Okay, moving forward about possible illegal work, illegal addition and enclosures. Let's focus for a second right here on the right side picture. This is the Broward County Property Appraiser website that provides you with a sketch. On that sketch, they name the areas. In this case, it's a utility room. In this case, it's a Florida room. In this case, it's a concrete area. This is a patio, and this is another utility room. Well, guess what? Every single one of those areas was either enclosed, was built, or was used to create additional living quarters. And instead of a single family home, the guy had there a triplex or a fourplex. So what happens is there is no multifamily within a single family home. There is no such thing. If you're gonna buy a house with an efficiency, you may wanna make sure that you research what you buy, especially with the building department, because after you close and you do your research, will inherit the problems related to this. One of the ways that we find fairly simple with the enclosed areas are the difference in between elevations from one side to the other. And we try to detect where the original 12 inches wall was in the house. As you can see right here on the left side, this used to be the exterior of the house. And now here on this step is this area that obviously has a kitchenette that doesn't meet code. And we also look outside. What type of roof and how many roofs do you actually have and how many elevations on the roof you have. In this case, you have 3 elevations right here. This was the original utility room, this small area. And then they added another section right here to it. So everything happens right here in South Florida. Pool, this is the overgrown vegetation. So what's next after this presentation? Just go online and you can schedule the inspection online. And you can also use your cell phone to do the inspection or to schedule the inspection. In this particular case, I mean, we live very uncertain times these days, and I would like to offer everybody from now on until we recover fully a $5 discount on any of the inspections that are for first-time buyers. So normally you will spend $375 that will give you the regular inspection, the 4-point, and the wind mitigation report. 3 reports for $375. So what you're gonna be spending now is $350, I'm sorry. So that's a $25 saving right there. I mean, at this point, I thank you one more time, Keith, for inviting me. And thank you the people that is participating on this morning on this presentation. And you have my information on the screen. Give me a call anytime you want. Ask me any questions. And I will remain through the presentation just to make sure that if you have any question, I can answer. This time, I go ahead, Keith, you can take over one more time. Thank you.
Keith, I
Okay,
think, yeah.
I'm back with you. Sorry about that, guys. I was trying to be quiet in the background during the presentation. So again, thank you, Oscar. Very detailed presentation. And yes, of course, substantial value in having an inspection done on your property before you would purchase, a key part of the buying process. And yes, I would be helping you negotiate anything that would be an outcome of that inspection with the seller on your purchase. Next step in the process, now your house has been inspected, and the next step would actually be clearing the appraisal hurdle. So we're going to act as though the appraisal has come through and everything is okay, and Bill and the lending team is blessing everything and saying move forward towards closing. And at that point, to get to closing, you're going to need insurance on your new property. And so I'm going to hand this off to Lazaro, who is going to talk to you about the insurance side of the house.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Good morning, and thank you for joining our home workshop. Let me just present my screen. Are you guys able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. One moment. All right, so who are we? We are Wellspring Insurance, an independent insurance agency. And I will be talking to you guys a little bit about what actually affects your homeowner's insurance rates. I often get the question, well, my neighbor next door to me is paying, you know, $1,000 less or $1,000 more. What actually is it that you guys are looking at to rate a homeowner's insurance? And thank you so much for Oscar to explain certain things that I get inspection reports such as a 4-point and a wind mitigation and the report that I look at in order to help rate that homeowner's insurance. So just to explain to you what type of insurance agents are out there, there are 2 different types of insurance agents, an independent insurance agent and then a captive insurance agent. A good example of a captive insurance agency would be like a State Farm or an Allstate. State Farm, just for an example, is the largest privately owned captive insurance out there, and then Allstate is the largest publicly owned captive insurance. So what are the difference? In an independent agency such as myself over at Wellspring Insurance, I can shop your rates around with dozens of different insurance companies and help you find a lower rate. And a captive insurance company, they can change the coverages on your insurance policy, can change a few things to help bring down your rate. But ultimately, they can only offer you the one product that they are allowed to offer you, which would be through them. Or in the state of Florida, I believe they're allowed to offer Citizens, the state insurance program, and then just a few other authorized carriers. Now, when I look at a homeowner or a home, that be a condo, a single family home or whatever, we ultimately look at the same thing. We look at the foundation, if it has a crawl space, a basement, or anything along those lines. We look at the exterior, and I normally tell people go out and get your inspections because an exterior can look to me as a masonry or a stucco exterior, but really it's 60% frame and it's just stucco on top of the frame. That makes a big difference when it comes down to the rating factor or even your qualification to a specific insurance company. That's where the mixed construction can come into place. Now, like Oscar previously said, the roof is very important. If you don't have a good roof, there's nothing underneath it. I love that line. Thank you for saying that. So there are different types of roofs out there, and each different type of roof does have a particular rating factor into your homeowner's insurance. There are metal roofs, there are shingle roofs, and then there's concrete roofs, there's clay tiles, there's all different types. A roof has different life expectancy. Typically, you find a flat roof to have the lowest life expectancy, the one that requires the most maintenance, the one that may possibly have the most claims. Additionally, we do take into account the shape of the roof. Certain shapes of roofs can either give you a credit towards your homeowner's insurance policy or give you a surcharge towards it. So as you can see over on the left, there's not many homes that have this butterfly roof, but where the roof actually caves into it, that holds a lot of the water, it seeps it in on there. And unless it's a concrete roof caving in, you're gonna see a surcharge on your homeowner's insurance. The roof that gives you the most credit, believe it or not, is the hip roof on the bottom right-hand corner. This roof has a pitch on all sides and it allows the wind to flow through it in the event of a hurricane. The second most common roof in the state of Florida would be a gable roof having a pitch on either side. And that one doesn't necessarily give you as big as a discount as the hip roof, but it does give you a slight discount. So those are different roof shapes that you can find. And these are attributes of your home that you can't necessarily change once you buy a home unless you necessarily want to break it down. But these are things that an insurance company does take into account when looking at it to rate your home. Now, typically we get 2 inspections, a wind mitigation and the 4-point. Now, Oscar went into detail about what these inspections do. As far as on the insurance side of it all, I look at the wind mitigation for credits and discounts, and I look at the 4-point, which is coming up next, for qualification. On the wind mitigation, we take into account the roof, what attaches a roof, the roof wall connections, what materials they are, and even the shape of the roof is given to you on there. But additional to that, they take into account something called opening protection, which is either if your windows have a hurricane impact window or if it's a shutter, all openings, so such as maybe you have a small little window on top of your door, or you have a glass window for your bathroom, to get the discounts in the state of Florida for opening protection, it's all or nothing. So you could have, let's say, impact windows on the first floor and shutters on the top floor, but your garage door is not impact resistant. You're not necessarily getting that discount that you should be on your homeowner's insurance. And these are things that I look at and talk to you as a new buyer to let you know, hey, as soon as you move in, if you want to replace that front door, for example, that could save you thousands of dollars on the life of your policy, or sometimes even just that 1 year's worth of a policy could save you that much money. Up to 50% can be saved on a good wind mitigation inspection. Now, the other inspection I typically receive, and this is more common for older homes, such as a 30-year or older home, but if you can get an inspection done on a newer home, I always recommend it. What is looked at in a 4-point inspection, as previously discussed by Oscar, is the roof, the plumbing, the HVAC, and the electricity. But this inspection, I'm looking at it more on how can I qualify you with what insurance company. There are, like Oscar previously said, certain electrical panel boxes out there that are on the taboo list, like the Federal Pacific, Zinsco, and a few others. And then there are different types of, now plumbing. 3 out of every 5 claim in the state of Florida is plumbing related. There are cast iron plumbings that are 50 years old and now are leaking. There's polybutylene plumbing that has been out of code for years, but still in some homes. So 3 out of every 5 claims in the state of Florida is plumbing related, and that's something that's heavily looked at when we look at your 4-point inspection. So that wraps up my inspection, my insurance presentation. That's my address, our email, and our phone number. And typically at this time, I leave it off for questions and answering. So I'll bring it back over to you, Keith. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lazaro. Great presentation. And wanted to say, everybody, that kind of concludes the presentation portion. And I wanted to thank all the presenters who are here, this great team of professionals who are taking their time to share their knowledge and expertise with us. And again, it's most important that I, as your realtor, help basically navigate the process through all of these different folks to get you to your closing. But the goal is to get you in your house, to get you to your closing, and to do it as efficiently and smoothly as humanly possible. With that said, I would like to go ahead and open up the forum to any questions that you may have that were
juice,
not
bubbly, dinners, yogurt, and
okay. Not sure. I went ahead and muted there, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute other folks. And okay. All right. So any questions from anyone at this time?
Can I make a comment?
Yes, absolutely, May.
Really great information, guys. Truly, I think everyone did a really great job today. I've been to tons of these, and I learned a lot.
I know it's hard, Daddy.
I just want to say
I promise it's gonna be fine.
this is a great team you guys got going on here.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that, and glad that you are here with us as part of the credit team.
Free. F-R-E.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any comments, questions?
I just have another comment, and once again, thank you, everybody. I mean, we pulled it together. This is definitely a good presentation, and this is the first one, I'm sure. And you guys can count on us for any inspection related business or general contractor related business. I have to say, Kevin, probably a question for Kevin as a title company. Kevin, are you there? Kevin. Hello. All right. Probably he's not.
I'm here. I'm
Kevin,
here.
are you there? Okay,
I have it on
perfect.
mute.
I made a comment related during the presentation. I made a comment related to the fact that the title company will look into the open permits and of course the violations, the current violations, and you will exclude the closed violations because there is no issue, and there is also an exclusion on the history of the permits. So clarify, correct me if I'm wrong because I could be wrong. The fact is that the title company will look into open permits and open violations only. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, so basically with the new contract that was issued, permits are no longer included within the lien search matters that a title company will order. So most title companies are no longer ordering permit searches because it's not part of clearing title. Most title companies should be asking, but they don't. So, you know, as a buyer, they definitely want to make sure, and the realtor and the mortgage broker definitely want to ask, hey, did you order a permit search? But to answer your question, yes, if we are asked to order a permit search, we are going to order open, closed, and expired permits to be able to disclose to the buyer the history of the property. And I will tell you, more time than none, when we're dealing with FHA buyers that are buying and there's a question as to whether the once the appraisal is done, noting that, let's say there's a new kitchen, they want to know, was it done with permits? That search will actually disclose that it was done with permits. So we've actually saved deals to prove that work in the property that was noted on the appraisal was done properly, you know, up to code. So yes, we will order it, but you have to make sure you specifically ask for a permit search.
Thank you again. That was really good.
Good question, Oscar. Okay, any other questions? Going once, going twice? Okay, so again, I want to thank all the presenters and everybody who took the time this morning to join us for this, what I hope is you're finding as valuable and useful and helpful information. I want also to add to please everyone at this time that we're going through with this pandemic in our country, to please stay safe. Above and beyond all, that's the most important thing that you should be doing for you and your family. So please stay safe and make sure that you're doing the right things for everyone. And that goes to the team as well. We need all the team to stay safe because we need the team in place, and as we're ready to rock and roll and continue forward with business. I wanted to also encourage everyone that if you are considering buying or selling at this time, as May likes to tell me, I'm your guy. So please reach out to me. I'll be your first point of contact. I'm connected throughout the United States and in over 200 countries worldwide. So if I can't help you, I can connect you to the people who can help you. So I should be your first call. And I am supported by a team. I'm a member of a team. I am part of the Stephen Bajero group of Coldwell Banker Real Estate, and I am proud to be a part of that group. And I have resources supporting me with many years of experience to navigate all of the challenges that come up during your real estate transaction. So I would be pleased and happy to help you. I'm also here to tell you that if you, on the listing side of the business, if you're selling, the listing concierge package that I showed you with all of the features that come with that marketing, that's a rather pricey package through the Coldwell Banker Realty system. And I'm here to tell you that if you choose me as part of this presentation to represent you on the listing side for selling your property, that I will provide that package to you at no charge. That's a quite substantial value, and I'm offering that to anyone who's looking to sell. On the purchase side, I'll be happy to assist on the closing cost portion once we get to the closing table. And I would be happy to help anyone that is interested. So you, your family, your friends, please be happy to, I'd be happy if you hand out my contact information, and I would be happy to assist. And again, thanks to everyone for being here today, and make it a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Keith.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Nice job there, Keith.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Everyone. Be
Thank
safe.
you. Thanks,
Nice
everyone.
job.
Thank you.